One of the first things that you're going to be doing with your support provider is taking a look at the continuum of teaching practice. The continuum of teaching practice is a description of each of the CSTPs, the California Standards for the Teaching Profession, and is organized by 5 levels of development, from emerging to innovating. The continuum of teaching practice was developed in such a way that it encourages reflective conversation between a support provider and a participating teacher. It is also useful in determining short-term goals and assisting teachers to recognize shifts in developmental levels of their teaching practice in response to teacher inquiry, changes in content, grade level, school, or student demographics, or even just a deeper understanding of their work. You will find all of the CSTPs and aligning developmental levels listed on page 5 and 6 of the Continuum Teaching and Practice booklet. It is here that you will mark in the booklet indicating your developmental level and record evidence for why you determined that level in the space provided below each standard. In your initial assessment, you will be marking the levels for each of the standards. Here is an example of what your booklet may look like. Notice that there is a developmental level chosen as well as evidence listed indicating why you selected that level. If you selected emerging, you do not need to provide evidence at this time. Remember that all of this is happening with a conversation with your support provider. We have created a user-friendly continuum spreadsheet to assist you in documenting the changes in developmental levels throughout the program year. It was created in Excel and can be downloaded from the RBO near the status record on the Continuum page. Please be sure to save it to your desktop or flash drive. We recommend that you change the name to indicate your first and last name. This will become important toward the end of the year when you upload the spreadsheet during the impact of inquiry. The first thing you're going to do is enter your teacher's name, so that's you. You will also enter your agency name. In your initial assessment, you would have only marked the standards, so you will enter the date. And then you will continue on and mark only the standards. If you do try to mark one of the elements within a standard, you will get an error box that lets you know that for the initial assessment, you only need to complete the standard levels. When you are through documenting all 6 standards, you will want to be sure to save. Your document will not be saved on the RBO, and you will revisit it several more times throughout the program year. You may also want to email a copy to your support provider. The next time you have a conversation with your support provider around the continuum of teaching practice will be during the preparing for inquiry phase. At this time, you will select one of the standards and determine your current developmental level for each of the elements within that standard. It is from this point that you will be able to determine 1 or 2 elements that will be aligned to the focus of your first inquiry. For example, if I selected Standard 2, I would mark that I had marked emerging. Now, I will continue to put down the levels that I had marked in my booklet for each of the elements. By doing this, I will have a holistic view of the entire standard. This will help my support provider and I to determine a focus of inquiry for my first inquiry. Remember to save it after each time that you mark it. The other 2 times that you would use this spreadsheet is to indicate the change in developmental levels after each inquiry It is not uncommon that you would remain the same or even move to the left after an inquiry when you consider any changes that may have occurred in your environment during this time. You will mark only the developmental levels of your focus inquiry after you completed your inquiry. Be sure to include your evidence as well. If you are a Year 2 or SB 57, then you will mark it after each of your inquiries. At the end of your program year, you will then upload this. You will locate that at the bottom of your status record after your Preparing for Inquiry, Inquiry 1 and 2, and then you will see Impact of Inquiry. It is here next to the continuum, Upload Final Continuum, that you would upload your spreadsheet. We hope that you find this spreadsheet to be a useful tool in helping you document and see changes in your developmental levels as you complete the process of inquiry this year.